Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with some MBTI. Today we're going to be doing some typing. This has been a while since I've done some typing. We're going to get back into this now, and I've laid out the basics so that you understand what I'm doing. And now we're going to look at some examples. We're going to start with Cristiano Ronaldo because he seems to be very popular, and I need to feed my algorithm. So if you like what I'm doing here, hit the buttons and the bells down below. Let me know. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you'd like to see. Other than that, let's dig in. This is a Piers Morgan interview with Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not a fan of Piers, but that's okay. Let's go. Also, I jumped into this late, right? Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. My MBTI, the way that I do it is different than other people's. I look for 5 determining characteristics out of 10 possibilities. There are dipoles. You are either things or ideas. You are either gather or organize. You are either self or tribe, control or movement, direct or informative. So we're going to be looking for those specific examples, and I'm going to try to remember to stop and talk along as we go. And then we'll do the typing and we'll look at the chart at the end. But if you're one of those people that are going to be very upset that I don't use the standard definitions for MBTI, you're not going to be happy here. If you're not clear in what I'm doing, there will be over here. There will be a link in the top that will take you to the playlist where I explain these things. Now, let's go.
So good, in fact, he currently holds a ridiculous 145 footballing records. Most
already getting FE
champion
or SE. He's already wanting to give the experience of his six-pack, right?
League goals, most goals in all European competitions.
Let's go.
There's a raging debate, as you know. A lot of people think Messi. A lot of people think you. A few others think other players, but the two
honest?
of you...
You say honest?
My honest thing is I think...
Thank you very much.
That matters to you?
Yes.
Why?
It's beautiful because you appreciate my job, my passion, what I like to do.
Sounds like self.
And when you listen, kind of, people, for example, like you, it's nice. Make me feel proud. It means that you are good. You are talent. You are the number one.
Do you think what makes...
You're good, you're talent, you're number one. Those are not things. Those are ideas, right? So he seems to be off the top, ideas focused, self. Now, that's very quick. I'm not going to stop here and type him out, but that's what we're looking at. He also seems to be quite controlled. He's in his box. He's neatly organized. And he's not really delivering an abundance of information. He was answering the question. He used examples, but he didn't go off onto a rabbit hole. So we're looking at direct possibly.
Makes you different to the others, to the next rung on the ladder, if you like, of very good players, is the dedication level that you put in?
I think I'm good, but I think my main strength, it's my mind. I think it's my strongest point, it's my mind. Piers, the number...
And again, that seems to be an example of ideas, right? He's not talking about his physical strength. He's in prime physical condition. He's not talking about his training that has happened. He's in prime condition. He's well trained. He's one of the most popular football players in the world. And so, he could very well go into, I put in the work like a Kobe would. But he didn't. He said, it's my mind. Yeah, okay.
Numbers they don't like. If you see during the last 15 years, my level is always kind of the same. So effort, dedication, work hard, because the talent is not enough anymore. And if you're not dedicated 100%.
And again, all right, and we're like a minute and a half into this. He's done 2 lists already. So that's leaning towards organize.
You're not gonna reach the level that you want. For example, you arrive home, you had a lunch, you do it a quick nap, and you wake up, you play with your kids, and I have to go to the gym at least 30, 40 minutes, but this will make the difference in the end of the day, you understand? If you not do it that work, you miss one. The next day, it's 2 sessions that you lost. And I know in the end of the day, in the hand, they're gonna make a huge difference.
Okay, so he's saying that going to the gym and maintaining your schedule here is going to help you in your end goals, right? That's the idea of it. And it's organization, like that's got a very SI, organize the day type of feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean SI.
This is why I'm 34 and I look 28.
Yeah, I'm 54 and I look 67. I'm also happy. You are apparently worth $500 million. True?
I don't know, maybe. I hope so.
Okay, so he does not have a grasp on that, right? That would be SI. He would know his net worth if he was SI.
That's $500 million.
Where you saw that?
That's my sources tell me.
I don't think so. It's too much.
What would you say? 300 million?
Probably.
3,
I don't
4?
know.
You know how much you're worth, don't you? You strike me as the kind of guy that would know that kind of thing.
Not 100%, but
Yeah, see, that's not organize the things. If he was organize the things, he would know offhand. Like he could tell you straight off the top. I got, and maybe not to the penny, but definitely within $1,000. But the SE is more like these are the things, right? This is the new things. This thing is growing. I have what I need. I'm not concerned about the details of the things. Give me the new things.
what I can say, I have good money in the bank. Yeah, maybe I don't say that, but it's true.
Like that's very ideas, right? I don't need to know the thing. I've got enough. That's the idea of having enough.
Truth is the truth.
It's the same. How many cars you have? I'm not gonna say that I have 2 cars. I have 20s.
How many have you got?
I cannot hide it. Some things.
How many have you got?
20s, maybe 17.
Again, he doesn't know exactly how many cars he's got. He just got a whole bunch of them, right? A whole bunch of these things, these new things. I see this new car. I want this new car. I get this new car. Doesn't matter that I need it.
I don't know.
17 cars.
Yeah,
And you got how many Bugattis?
2.
Ferrari?
Now that he knows.
Ferrari, 2.
McLaren?
2.
Rolls? You came in a Rolls today.
He's collecting all the things and the experiences, right?
2.
Yeah.
2.
Which one
He's got 2 of them.
do you like driving most?
Rolls Royce.
The Rolls?
Yes.
The white one you
It's
gave
more
me?
comfortable.
Yeah?
Yes, it's more comfortable, and I like it. Not hurts my back, so it's perfect.
But a fleet of luxury cars and hundreds of million impoverished island colleague.
I'm not here for his story. We're here to get his personality, right? So let's.
That he enjoys today.
I was surprised about this. But when you were a kid at Sporting Lisbon, you and your other little players in the academy there, you would go around the back of this local McDonald's, and a lady called Edna
Yes.
would give you the cast-off burgers at the end of the night, and you'd all take them. And tell me about that. What was that about? What happened to Edna? Did you ever find her again?
You know, when I was a kid, with 11, 12 years old, we don't have money. And we live in the same place that the other place, the younger places, because I live in Madeira, and I look my family 3 in 3 months. It was hard, so very hard periods without the family. In the later night, like 10:30, 11, we are a little bit hungry. So we had a McDonald's next to the stadium where we live, and we always go to the back door and we knock the door. Hey, any burgers left? And Edna and 2 more girls, which they are unbelievable. I never find the girls again. I speak with some people in Portugal to try to find where is the girls, because I don't find them.
So he's going back to look for him. That's cool. Like, I kind of like this guy. I don't like Piers at all, but I like this guy.
They closed at McDonald's, but I hope if this interview will help to find that girls, I will be so happy, because I want to invite her to come to Turin or Lisbon to come to my house to have the dinner with me. And I want to find these girls, to be honest.
I want to give you this experience that you gave to me that was so great. That's what that is. That is another SE trait, right? I want to give you this experience.
I want to give something back because that period was a period that I was appreciate so much. It's something that I never forgot that
A
moment.
little thing, but it meant so much to you.
A lot.
Because you were on your own.
You don't imagine how much, to have burgers in the night.
No, you're
So, bro, you don't even know how nice it was to be able to eat when I was starving.
talking to the right guy. I know how much a Big Mac can mean at midnight. You're talking to a man who's eaten a lot of Big Macs, and I crave them.
That is not the same, boss. That is not the same. And you don't even understand why it's not. Like, I don't know Piers' background, but he comes across to me as very arrogant and factually wrong in a lot of things, and that's why I don't particularly care for him. This is one of those instances. Like, this kid is telling you that he was not with his family, right? That he didn't get to see them but once every 3 months, if I understood correctly, right? 3 months and 3 months. And then he didn't have food. At 10:30 or 11 at night, he was hungry enough that they went to knock on the door of a McDonald's to see if they had free food that they were going to throw away. That is a level of hunger that apparently you are not familiar with, but some of us have been. And that just reinforces to me why Piers is not a good person.
So I get it. I get it.
Like, and look, this right here is like, you do not get it at all. You can see it in his eyes.
And this is where you and I have got such a similar routine. And two great athletes every Sunday going to get a Big Mac.
Yeah, he's so extremely uncomfortable with that. So extremely uncomfortable.
But I can see you have good abdominals.
Thank you very much, Christiano. Thank you for appreciating
I
that.
appreciate it.
It's something that gets a bit lost on the
You
public.
look good. You look good.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. You're looking.
Steve squeezes his leg right there. If you don't know trauma responses, right? That's a trauma response. That physical comforting of the feeling that you are associating with comfort. And that's what he's doing right there. Maybe his mama squeezed his leg. Maybe his grandma. Somebody back in the day when he was a kid would squeeze his leg right there and make him feel comforted. And so he is comforting himself with that right here. That is what that is. That's a trauma response. He's calming himself down because Piers really did just step on some toes right there. Like, he triggered a demon.
Get yourself.
Like, yeah, he seems to have triggered something right there.
Scrounging burgers is not something Ronaldo's 4 children will ever have to try. But that's where the similar...
I really am here for Cristiano.
They have computers. They have good food on the table. They don't,
Let me back it up a little bit more.
this generation, right? For kids, you know what I'm talking about. They have everything easy. They have computers. They have good food on the table.
Computers, good food, and a table, right? Again, this is tying back into his trauma right there. He's being honest here. Like, he's being forthright in this interview. And Piers is kind of brushing that off and not getting as serious as it probably could be. But, like, that's another list, but it's a list of ideas, right? Computers, food, and a table. Like, that's more of an idea than a thing. So, again, we're listing ideas. This is the third list, the third time that it's not been specific. Like, he didn't list off his cars. They asked about the cars. They asked what he had. He could have listed off, I've got 2 Bugattis, I've got 2 Ferraris, but he didn't, right? You had to pull that out of him because that's not where he resides. He resides in the overarching idea of these cars and these new experiences make me feel good.
They don't sacrifice a lot to get what they want. I want to give the best. I want him to suffer a little bit to reach what he wants to be.
To have the hunger that you had.
I think this will be the most difficult part.
You took him back to one of your first apartments, and very interesting where
The residence where
Yeah.
I used to live, yes.
with your friend, and you took him back there, and it was to teach him really about where you had come from, but you hadn't always had all this stuff.
I remember I was in Lisbon, very normal residence, I can say a poor residence, and I took him to the residence, to the room that I used to live. The same persons was there to working there in the building, incredible. And I see the ladies, and they start to cry when they see me. And I took Christiano to the room, and I say, Christiano, look, the daddy used to live here. And he look at me, you joke, no? And I say, yeah, no, daddy don't joke, I live here. And he didn't believe. He didn't believe because what he see now, he don't imagine what we sacrifice, the hardest time that he had. He don't believe.
He can't believe this idea that I'm giving him, right? He's narrowed down the idea that his children need to know where he came from, right? You need to remember that life is not going to be handled to you, on a silver platter. That's his box. I'm getting a very strong NI vibe for this, and that is organized ideas. He's shown examples of lists of ideas which suggest organization, and then it's all been non-specific, so it suggests ideas. And so this right here really does give a very strong NI vibe. We're looking more now for the control movement side of things, right? And the direct informative side of things. He does seem to be more me-focused than tribe-focused. Me-focused does not mean that you're not concerned about your family. It does not mean that you're not concerned about other people. It means that the information that you get or the things that you get, you use for yourself first. And so he is very much giving me an IN feel here. I need to see if it's an INF or an INFP or an INT. And that's where we're going with control and movement. And then direct or informative will give us which type it is.
So it's hard, but I think I'm gonna be. I know how to do it, to motivate him, to push him, but it will be here. The difference will be here. I hope. I just pray that I want the mini Christiano to be like me, but no panic, no problems. You're gonna be whatever you want. I'm not gonna
That's flexible.
make a pressure, just a little bit, and let's see what's gonna happen.
Allowing that flexibility is movement, right? If he was more control, he would be like, I'm not going to allow him to come out of this way. I'm just not going to do it. But he's like, whatever it will be is what it's going to be. I'm just going to try to guide it. That's a whole different field than the other one. That is more movement. So I'm definitely leaning movement from that one statement alone. Also, he's not really chasing rabbit holes. He is answering the question. He is answering them completely. He's giving details, but he's not chasing a rabbit hole. I want to see how far he goes with the details because that's going to make a difference in the direct versus informative. Direct person is going to tell you in the least words possible the gist of the story, right? He's doing that. He seems to be direct, but he might be not quite comfortable enough yet to be informative. So we're going to give it a couple more minutes.
Let's talk about football briefly. You currently have 145 records where you've been most, first, or only something in professional football. It's a ridiculous number. You're a team player in the sense you love to win big team competitions, but you also love individual awards. They matter to you.
It's part of my sacrifice, my obsession to win, to have success. You know, when I say success, it's I work for that. Talent is not enough. I dedicate myself so much that this is part of me. Records is part of me.
Very much self, and that's not a problem, right? Self does not mean selfish.
I don't follow the records. The records follow me, which is different.
Are you addicted
And again, that is ideas.
to winning?
Yes, I am. I'm addicted to the success. Because I
That's
think
the
it's
thing that
good.
really drives you.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's not something bad. I think it's good. It motivates me. If something not motivated, it's better, to stop. You understand? The record's coming in a natural way. It's different. But when you are close, you say, why not? For example, this record now, I think I had a chance to beat, and it's a beautiful record. The most top scorer in the world history.
Of all the goals you've scored,
All right, now see, that may have seemed like a rabbit hole, but it really wasn't. He was giving another example to clarify his point, but it was on topic. And it wasn't extended. It was as long as it needed to be in order to give it. So he does seem to be direct.
I won't ask you to name the favourite. I'll tell you which my favourite is, for a number of reasons. It's the one you scored against Juve for Real Madrid.
Mine as well.
It's your favourite?
Yes.
We've got it here.
Very impressive. That was a very impressive athletic maneuver right there.
And what it meant so much to me, A, the technique of the goal is spectacular.
Crazy
Look
goal.
at that. Look at that. Look.
Secondly,
What?
it's against Juve, and the crowd reacted by
Like, I don't sport. I've never been able to really get into sports. I tried. I don't do it. That was impressive.
giving you a standing ovation. And you went up to them and you beat your chest. And then here you are now playing for Juve. And I think it was all to do with that goal and that moment. Because
Helps.
to see an opposition crowd responding to your genius in that way, it moved me, and I'm not you, but it moved me watching that.
Helps a lot. Trust me. Helps a lot. By far the best goal I scored in my career.
Technically, from your point of view.
Technically, the very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Try to score these goals many years. I had 700 goals, and I never scored a goal like
When
this.
it went in and you knew you'd finally got it, what was that feeling like?
Like, oh, finally, I scored a bicycle goal, a beautiful bicycle, and the jumping. I think I'd never see a goal with a bicycle like this one. The way I jump against Buffon, against Juventus, quarterfinals of Champions League, probably one of the best goals I ever seen in football. Not just because it's my goal. If it will be another player, I will say the same.
Better than sex?
Better than sex.
Be honest. Be honest.
Be honest. No.
That tracks. I'm going to go ahead and do this tape, y'all. I feel like we have enough, and I don't want to just pirate other people's stuff, right? We're talking about this. We're doing fair use and all of that. But I'm not here for the whole interview. I'm not here for all of that. We're here to do the typology. So it appears to me that he is self, right? And again, self is not selfish, but it is definitely evident, right? He's about him, and that's not a problem. He's ideas. He's not very specific in the things. He's not talking about the experiences as much as he is talking about the ideas. The raising the child rights, one thing. The list that he has made is another thing. He comes across to me as very much ideas. He seems to be organized the ideas. He has narrowed things down into the best idea, and he fits it all into that. The best idea is football. The best idea is being your personal best. And so he has fit his whole world into that, and he has fit other people into that. But he allows the room for them to not be where he is. That's flexibility. The way that he said that he would let his kid be who they were going to be, he was just going to try to guide it. The way that he's given a couple of examples. And so I'm feeling very much movement on that. So it feels like a feeling. And he seems to be direct. He's not chasing rabbit holes. He is full and complete in his answers. He is telling you all the details you need and giving examples, but it's one example and then done. And it stays on topic without veering into anything else. That's direct. So that's going to give us an INFJ. We're looking at an INFJ, and it's going to be a straight up INFJ, not an alternate. Let me open this for myself so that I can be there with y'all. Oh, 1 second. All right. So that's going to be NIFE, TISE, NEFI, TSI. So he's going to remember the past, right? He's going to remember what has happened, how it made him feel, but he's going to remember it mostly in a negative light. When he's talking about being hungry, and when peers made fun of that, that was poking a demon, right? Before I had even typed him, I could see that that demon was being poked, because he is caught in that, but he's caught in it in a negative light. He's remembering the bad parts, and there's a good chance it was mostly bad. Like, that happens. It happens to a lot of us. It's hard to get out of that. It's hard to get on the other side of remembering that. But if you sit in it and you think about it and you look at other perspectives, you open up. His sacral is going to be TE, so that's going to be other people's thoughts and rationale. He's going to be choosing the wrong side of that. He's going to intentionally be choosing the wrong side of that. So if you go back, I'm not going to do it, but if you go back to when he scored that goal, that very impressive goal, and the people stood up and they were giving him a standing ovation for the opposite team, and he went over there and he was doing this, you could see the crowd not really reacting. Like, they were already standing, already giving him his props, but the looks on their faces was more like, wow, okay, like, we were giving you your props and now it seems like you're gloating a little bit. That's the choosing the wrong side of the TE. So you would want to really think about that before anything else. Because that's the trickster energy. That's where you're really going to get tripped up. For the solar plexus, what really feeds you is what you feel, right? So he's going to feel really good. And like, he seems to be a fairly well-balanced INFJ. We have some of us out there that are really out there. And he seems to be really in control of his own situation, which is great. I love to see that. But you can tell that he really does feed himself with his own feelings. And that's what we do. We feed ourselves with our own feelings. And he's going to stand in his morals where he feels things are right. And when he does that, he's going to feel great about that. What he wants to do is look at the possibilities, right? The possibility that scissor kick would work is looking at a possibility. And so he's already decided that football is the best thing, and he's already decided that everybody loves it when he plays good. He's already decided that this is logical. And so he's already feeding his NE. He's already using his feelings to feed these possibilities. And the possibilities here are the different ways to score, the different ways to steal the ball, how to run, different training regimens, maintaining discipline. Those are all different ideas to him. And so he's going to be choosing from those ideas, and he's actually looking at them. Now, he may miss some because this is low energy spot, right? You don't get a whole lot of reception right here. But he may miss the opportunities sometimes, and he's going to kick himself when he does that. But he's not really going to dwell in that as much because he seems to be fairly well balanced. The throat, the part that he's going to miscommunicate, is the SE, right? The cars. How many cars do you have? I don't know, 17, 20, something like that, right? He doesn't list what they are. He doesn't tell you what they are, but he's got them. He's got them because that SE inferior is attracting that to him. Like, it makes him feel better if he's got the things. And so he's doing that, but he's not very well at communicating them. Maybe he's not well, like, we didn't see an example of this in this interview, so I'm not saying this is him. But maybe he's not well with knowing what all the new things are, right? He's very good at, he's picked out some very nice cards, right? But maybe there's some he missed. The third eye, he's going to use logic to look forward, and you can see that in this. He is very much picking out the logical progression of his life. He lived next to the stadium, he grew up with football, and he dedicated himself to becoming the best at it. That's logical choices. I don't know whether he looked at other options for employment, but it doesn't appear so. He's very good at this, and that comes from an early commitment. His crown, what he's going to feel responsible for is making his tribe feel good. Well, if you're his fan, you're his tribe. If you're his family, you're his tribe. So he is dedicating himself to the one box of football in order to make the tribe feel good. Now, that makes him feel good, and he is doing it for himself primarily. But he is doing what he does for himself primarily to give back to the tribe. Like, that's what we do. and you use it for yourself first, and then you give it to the tribe. So he's feeling good about doing well, and then he's feeling good because everyone else is feeling good about him doing well. He's in an ethical position. Like, there's not a whole lot of corruption to deal with in the football, right? Hopefully. I don't know, but hopefully he's on the ethical side of things. It appears so because he's successful, and that's how that works. And then the divine is going to be what you do without really thinking about it. And that is narrowing it down into the one box. He chose football, and he has done well in football by applying himself to the one football idea. Now, you could look at football as a thing, but it's not in this case. It is more the idea of football. It is his personal execution and the team's execution of the thing, but it is the idea of football that really attracts him. And so this seems to fit. I don't know him well, right? I just picked his name at random because it was on one of the trending lists. And he seems like a good fella, though. I really like him. I wouldn't mind sitting down and drinking a beer with him. He probably doesn't drink beer. He's in too good a shape with that. I don't drink a whole lot myself, but it's more of a saying than anything else. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion to a not too difficult topic. Once you grasp the basics of this, it's easy to walk through it. And I'm trying to give you examples of how to walk through it now. If you have somebody you would like to see typed, drop it in the comments below. If you like what I'm doing here, hit all the bells and whistles. If you're not familiar with what I'm doing here, check out the playlist, Infinite Integrations. It's a whole system to help you improve yourself. That's what I am trying to do. Give you the tools to help you change what you want to change about you. Not what anybody else wants you to change, but what you don't like about you. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. I love you. Until next time, this has been pittstake. Peace.